start right away. Neurological exam. Neurological exam comes in 6 different categories and packages. Let's start now with the number 1. We call them higher brain function. What is a higher brain function? What do you think what it is?
Like speaking and other like senses.
Yeah, what else? Kate, what else is higher brain function?
Movement, walking?
No, that's not. Animals do that. Is it higher brain function? Even worms do that.
Okay.
Right? So anything that human does and animal doesn't. Speaking, yeah. Speech. What else?
Any kind of higher cognitive reasoning?
Cognition, yeah. Cognition. Alertness and awakeness, animals do that as well, but we still have it in this pattern. So, I put AAO. What is that? AAO.
Alert.
Awake, alert, oriented. Okay, we go back to that, okay? Now, awakeness, alertness, orientedness, speech, cognition. Anything else?
Language? Is that part of
Oh,
speech?
that's
Speech.
speech. That's speech. Yeah. No, concentration. This is like, I'm going to give you in 20 minutes something that takes years. So just bear with me. It's not going to be complete by any means. Okay, I want to check if you're awake, alert, oriented. You're following me. You're awake, you're alert. What's your name?
Elise.
What's your full name?
Elise Schroeder.
What day, what month and what year is it?
Oh my god. It's August of 2021.
Oh, and where are you?
I'm in Burnsville, Minnesota.
So you're awake, alert, oriented times 3. Why are you here?
Because I want to learn.
Yeah, you were in the lab.
Mm-hmm.
So that is 2 situations. So you can see awake, alert, oriented times 3 or 4. So you're awake, alert, oriented times 4. And that's, when you see that there, AAO3 means awake, alert, oriented times 3. You don't ask them for the date usually because they don't know the date. They have been in the hospital for so long, or this is something else. But if they know the month and the year, they are awake, alert, oriented to time, self, time, and place, and situation. Now, speech. Already I was listening to you, so your speech is fluent. Repeat, no ifs, ands, or buts.
No ifs, ands, or buts.
Good. Now you can articulate that, and your thing makes sense. There are 2 kinds of aphasia, or many kinds of aphasia, but usually 3 kinds of aphasia that's important for your exam. They are called, what are they called? The problem with their speech.
Expressive? Expressive, what is that?
Expressive or Wernicke.
Oh.
That's the same.
Wernicke's are Broca's?
No, expressive is Wernicke, the
Yeah.
same.
And then
Broca.
Broca's?
What's a Broca?
Is it where they don't understand it, but they can say it?
That's Wernicke. That's expressive.
Mm.
Broca is motor. Where you understand, you comprehend, but it's like a telegraph, like your speech is words. You cannot formulate full sentences. The difference is in the area of the brain that would cause that. Broca is in the frontal temporal area, and Wernicke is further back. That sort of tells where the damage is. In Wernicke, your speech is fluent, but it makes no sense. And if both is bad, we call that global. Okay? Now, cognition. One of the subcategory of cognition on both concentration, and then we can have it different, we can memory. No, repeat after me. Apple, table, coin.
Apple, table, coin.
Okay, so I'm making sure that it's not your ears I'm testing, it's not your aphasia I'm testing. You could hear and repeat that. Now, let me check your cognition. 100 minus 7. 100
Oh,
minus
100 minus
7
7 is 93.
minus 7
80. 86.
minus 7.
79.
Good. And if it's too much, you go 30 minus 3. If that's too much,
27.
minus 3.
24.
Okay. Now, what was those three things I told you to say?
Apple, table, pear? No.
Coin?
Am I not
Coin.
completely with
Apple,
it,
table,
Dr.
coin.
Boise?
Apple, table, coin.
Mm-hmm.
Coin. Okay. So this is you got most of that. Okay. I can go on and just talk 8 hours about that. But with this, you have most of it. There is something standard we as well do. Have you heard of GCS?
Classical Condensed scale?
Yeah. You know what that is? It's a card. You get a card and don't try to memorize it. Just run the card. It has 3 segments. What is that? 3 segments.
Eyes.
Well,
Motor.
let's start with basic things, you know. Motor, eyes, speech or
Speech.
following command. Okay, and you know, now there's a card that tells you what to do. It's for adult, not for children. But like, you know, if you follow command perfectly for motor, then you get a 6 for that. If you have to wake some, no, for eye opening is one of them, speech is one of them, memory, motor is one of them. You assign them at each number and you add them together. Maximum is 15, minimum is 3. And when you are in 3, meaning you're in coma. When you're 15 is normal. And then we know that, you know, that is a very important factor in outcome of the patient. Then you can follow it. Like, if somebody it has no motor, you get a 1. If somebody extending when you giving them pain, it get a 1. Flexing get 2, and localizing, meaning you cause them pain and they go to our back, they get 4, and following after you wake them up get 5. If following them without you waking them up, you get 6. Just get the card. And that is a very important thing to follow. Eye opening. Your eyes are open, you get a 4. If I have to call you, Elise, open your eyes, then you open your eyes, that's a 3. If I have to cause you pain to open your eyes, and so on and so forth. So it's you can download it from anywhere and so on. So this is all I'm going to tell you for the higher brain function. Let's go to the second category. Obviously very important is cranial nerve. And again, that would be a 2-day course, each 12 hours, okay? But obviously, how many cranial nerves do we have?
12.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Number 1.
That is your olfactory.
Olfactory nerve. If you really have to test it, you need to have something you find everywhere, coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So coffee, vanilla, and so on, especially after trauma, where the olfactory bulb cilia, they go down through lamina cribrosa, the perforated lamina in the front of the brain, they go directly down, they get sheared, they cut, and they have anosmia. Again, I'm just going to there's so much I can tell you. If you're interested, we can continue that. But let's go to second nerve. What's the second nerve?
Is that your
Optic nerve, yeah, that's the most important. 70 to 80% of our input to our brain is through our optic nerve. Did you know that? That's a lot. That's a damn a lot. Okay? One thing or 2 nerves having 70 to 80% of our inputs as general. That's why we are so visual people. So, look at my nose. And obviously there are cards and so on for color and so on. We're not going to talk about that. Look at my nose. Are you able to see my nose? So how many fingers do you see?
1.
Where's the finger you see? I have to be at the level and so on. This is not fair. I have to be at the level and so on. How many fingers do you see flash?
2. Or like your
Show
one
me.
on each hand.
Yeah. Okay, what about now?
Just one.
What about now? Good, okay. So quadrant, 4 quadrant, then you cover one eye and check one eye and you compare it to your eye, considering your eye being good and okay and so on. You can compare it. And then you can, just wiggle the red pen and so on. And there are tons of things you can do, but generally that is the way to go. Now, 3,
Oculomotor.
4, and 6 come together.
Mhm.
Why?
They move
Because they
eyes.
are the muscles, control the muscle that control your eye movement. Look at my nose, look at my finger, follow up and down, side to side, corner to corner. You have full motion there. I'm not going to even to dive on that, how much you can find out just from that if one eye doesn't lift up but the other does, or doesn't go down or doesn't go to side, you can pinpoint, we have MRI and CAT scan for just 30, 40, 50 years,
Mm-hmm.
but we could identify with accuracy where the tumor was
Patients.
based on this kind of exam, where the damage is. So it is extremely powerful, but we are not going to dive into that. 5.
Facial.
There's a nerve, the name of the nerve. What is the nerve called?
Trigeminal.
Trigeminal nerve, okay. What does it do?
Moves the muscles of the face.
No, it doesn't.
Oh.
The sensory of the face, feeling.
Oh.
Do you feel me touching you here?
Mm-hmm.
This is the first branch. Here, feel it, and here, second and the third branch. Trigeminal, meaning the 3-legged nerve, okay? 7. So Kate, what's 7?
Oh, sorry, I'm writing. Facial.
Facial.
I have
And-
Bell's palsy.
Huh? Oh, that's not that bad.
No, it's healed, but
Okay, okay. Can you take the mask off? No. Raise up your eyebrow. Good. Blow up your cheek. Good. Smile. Show me your teeth. Yeah. Because if something wrong there, you see that the muscles are being not asymmetric. Okay. So again, 3 areas that you check. Here, 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 depending on something interesting. If you have a central palsy, this still work because this is innervated by both sides.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have a peripheral palsy, all 3 of them don't work. That's amazing how much you can find out just from that, okay? So 8. What is it? What's 8?
so vestibular,
Vestibulocochlearis.
cochlear,
Sit squarely, please. Look at me. Do you hear it?
left,
Show me.
right,
Don't, yeah, okay. Okay, here, you see that high, do it for yourself. Yeah, high pitch, this is the first we use. High pitch thing. 9,
and that's your
I'm going to
ears.
put 9, 10 together. Why? 9, 10. Glossopharyngeal and vagus. Swallowing. Just give them a little bit to drink. Okay? And speech, vocal cord, and so on. They go in the laryngeal region. 11.
Abducens.
Abducens?
Mm.
Abducens is this one.
Oh no, I'm getting numbers mixed up.
Yeah. What is called, what's a nerve? Accessory nerve. Okay? So, and 12. Take your mask off again. Glossopharyngeal. Nope, that's not glossopharyngeal.
Okay.
Put your tongue out.
Mm.
Put your tongue left and right. Yeah, that's the 12th nerve. Okay, got it? So, 1, 2, 3 is motor. I'm not going to go through all the muscles, but I'm going to show you on certain groups what you can check, and you guys just have to look at the anatomy book to see what, and you're just going to check the muscles that are specific for a segment. And again, I'm not going to even talk about what segment because you're not going to remember it. You're just going to have a card that says this muscle is that and so on, but sit squarely, please. Bring the shoulder up. Deltoid, Another way for deltoid is do chicken wing. Deltoid, do this. Biceps, hold it up. Triceps, spread out your fingers. Lumbricals, give me a grip. Hard, hard, hard. Good. Hard, hard. Good. Grip. And this, not this. This. Good. Hold it there. Opponent, thumb opponent or opponent policy on the legs. Legs sit squarely so that that he can see us because you're holding that. Put your feet in front of you like this. Push down. Good. What is that? Gastrocnemius.
Abstract.
Toes up toward the nose.
Tibialis.
Tibialis anterior. Tibialis anterior. Tibialis posterior. This tibialis anterior.
Anterior.
So bend your knees like me. Do not push your foot against the ground, but keep your knee bent. I cannot say how many times people ask me, bend my knee this way, as if you could bend your knee that way, you know? Keep it bent, keep it bent. Good, keep it bent. Now, you have a little bit of hamstring weakness, a little bit, not too
Just
bad.
hold it.
Oh, I see.
Oh no!
You see?
Yeah.
You can't figure out this thing. Can you make it straight now? So keep it straight. Which one is it now?
That one.
Which one
Oh,
is that?
quads.
What? Quads, yes, here. Okay. How do you check iliopsoas? Bring your knee up.
This way.
Good, here. Looking at anatomy book now is not only for us to be important to know what we are doing, but we have to give it a number. How does that number work? 5 is full strength. 4 is anything but full strength against the pressure. Don't bother with 4 plus, 4 minus. That is for advanced things. But 5 full strengths, 4 is not full strength. If you can barely go against the gravity is 3. If I barely can do that is a 3, but if I cannot do that, but I can do this, that is a 2. 1 is, you see muscle fibrillation, but no mechanic activation, and 0 is 0, nothing. Okay, so these are the graduations. So if I say tibialis anterior is 3, meaning it's barely against the gravity, like
Okay.
barely can come up against the gravity. But if it's 4, meaning it can come up, but it's not as strong as the other side, okay? So, motor, what's next? And I'm going pretty fast here, because I'm hungry. But what is next? Sensory.
Sensory.
And again, I could talk just the whole day about those receptors and so on and so forth. But are you familiar with those dermatomes? You have a dermatomal map. Most of the time, we are not even that much concerned about what kind of, is it the Pacini for the deep pressure, this and that and so on, or is it like a thermal sensory, is it the neuropathy and so on, is it radiculopathy? But what it means that the nerve that goes in that area is damaged. Okay? Now this is important. When my professor taught me that many years ago, this is what he did. He got on the table actually, that wasn't a table like that, this won't hold my weight. And then he put the hands like that on the ground and put his buttock outside there, say, now cut me in segments. And that is the notochordal segments from embryology. For that reason, 6, 7, 8. 6, 6, 7, 8. As a matter of fact, 7 is this one and half of this one, and 8, C8, okay? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, because you're like that. And then imagine you're cutting. Nipples is usually around 5, 6. Then belly button is what? T10, excellent. And then you have what? L1, L2, L3, L4, toes, L5, S1 is heel, and your buttock perineal region is what? S2 and S3, because this is the segment, okay? That's hence my professor stretching his ass out, because that is the most proximal. Our leg, are not our most proximal part. They come from like a salamander, okay, or any animal like thing and so on. Like, the legs are not the most distal part of our body. Our tail is. We just don't have any tail. So, any question there? No. Okay. If somebody has a truly so-called severe compression of the distal part, it's extremely important to ask them an uncomfortable question. How does it feel around your crotch area, in perineal area? Sometimes you have to check it. Sometimes there's reflexes there, and then you check that to find out. These are important things. So, next. Reflexes. For most of the things we do, this is not as important as other things, as the thing we talked about until now. But, and I don't expect you to do that because the bearing of that on what we do is not very extensive. But let me sit here next to you and do a check-in on you. Put your hand on your lap, just relax if you can, yeah. And just relax. I use and may I tap hard on your leg so you see how hard I can tap? I don't need a hammer, but if you need a hammer, you use a hammer. But now I'm hitting on my hand. I feel your arm. I'm actually contracting. Every single muscle has a reflex, but there are only few that we can effectively check. And for the leg, can you turn a little bit? Relax, just relax. Relax. I can't relax. Just relax. Let it go. Let it go. Now, take your hand. What is called? Relax here and hard. Ready? No. Good. Stronger now. The Adriatic hand grip. Name of the doctor. I don't know why they have to put their name on it. Your put a pre-amplitude on those paths so they become harder. Okay? Now, most of the time you don't see me to do that, but I still check that. You know how to check that without you even noticing that? This is what I do. Relax, 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 relax. Okay, you see out there? Yeah, that I check the reflexes. And if it's not really out of ordinary, and it doesn't have that much bearing, but it doesn't really take long to check that once you get used to that, okay? Another thing that you can do is relax, relax. Yeah, and you feel it. You don't have to see it, you can feel it.
Okay.
So, and then we talk about pathologic reflex. These are normal reflexes. What is a pathologic reflex?
Like when you scrape the bottom of their foot.
What's it called? Babinski.
Babinski.
Okay, what else do you know of pathologic reflexes?
In babies it's Moro.
Moro?
Moro.
What is Moro?
Isn't that rooting?
Yeah, but what is it? How do you check that Moro?
Rubbing your cheek.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, let me talk about what pathologic reflexes are. We call them reflexes that tells us that first motor neuron is not working. As easy as that. What does the first motor neuron does? First motor neuron, contrary to what people think, doesn't activate. In the natural steps of our bodies, we are contracting everything. We are not moving by activating certain muscle. We are moving by relaxing all the others. So this one is the only one that is. This is literally a negative kind of control, which works pretty well, obviously. We move, right? Now, when the first motor neuron goes away, then things activate in the wrong way. And Babinski is a reflex that, have you seen that baby apes, they grab on their mother while the mother is up in the tree and they don't fall off? It is a reflex. They grab, once you put something in a baby's hand, it just grabs it very hard. And monkeys as well, they grab with their legs, with their feet. So to grab, forcing to grab. Now, in all variation, Babinski and all the other these pathological reflexes are when our brain, first motor neuron doesn't work, and the second motor neuron just want to grab.
Okay.
That's all what it is. So Babinski, I'm not going to take the shoe off, but practically you go to the outside or inside, then see what happens. The fork go down, the big toe go back. Why? Because it goes back so it can turn around and grab. This is what it wants to do. And there are 20 variations of that. And we call them Babinski-like reflexes, but if you do here, if you do here, if you do here, if you grab the gastrocnemius, these are all variations of the Babinski. Why? Because the ape, if it's jumping from one tree to another, it may not come right there. It may hit here, want to bring this forward, bring that backwards. When it falls, it can grab. That is how it works. And in the hands with the baby's grab reflex, it's the same thing. You just want to grab because the first motor neuron hasn't developed yet that inhibitory mechanism. There is one more thing that's very important. Sit square to me, please. Put your hand in front. Relax. 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 You can't relax.
I
Huh?
can't.
Okay. So here, see what I'm doing here. This is called Hoffman. You're fine. You don't have Hoffman because if you had Hoffman, when I'm doing this, the other finger just would twitch.
Oh.
That is a sign of myelopathy. Mike Hansen. Oh, yeah. Hey, Mike. Mike? Hey, what's up, Mike?
Well,
What's up?
hey, just checking to see if that cadaver needs to go in the fridge or the freezer.
You know, at this point, I really don't care. I'm not sure if you are going to do that screws tomorrow or not. Put it in the fridge, and tomorrow we can decide if you can do tomorrow, maybe. Okay, thank you.
Nice. All right, bye.
Bye-bye. Okay. So, again, this is by no means complete, okay? Last one. What is the last one I'm going to check? I'm going to check the last thing on you.
Provocation test? Or the whole section, I don't know.
Hmm? Neurological exam.
Neurological.
That's not a neurological exam.
Oh,
It's an exam, but it's not a neurological
for
exam.
the joint, okay.
Today we are going to talk about neurological exam. What part of the body we didn't talk about? Cerebellum and coordination. Okay? Balance is part of cerebellum. Okay? So, cerebellum or coordination, which is a mostly function of the cerebellum and the nerves that give input to cerebellum. So, let's start with easy things. 6 square to me. So, and touch my finger with just with one your index finger. Touch my finger, touch your nose. Go back and forth. Keep doing it. So you are correcting it and it's working. So that's basically the good part of what it is. Now, though, close your eyes and stretch out your arms to the side and touch your 2 index fingers together. Did you see how easily she did
She
that?
did that very well.
No, but do you know why we can do that? That means the proprioception, meaning the muscle capsule sensor, they tell you exactly where you see, close your arms and put your hands in any random figure or arms or legs. You know, you have a mind in your mind, you know where they are. That is a function that you have nerves that go in your capsules, in your joint, giving the what we call proprioception, information about that to your brain. There's part of the spinal cord, the back part of the spinal cord. Spinal cord, if you may know, this is interesting now. Look like a butterfly, right? And this is the front piece, this is the back piece, and here there are some paths. There are 4, you get a cookie. If you tell me what they are called, you get a cookie. Whoever.
A dorsal,
In the back, this is posterior, and they are like, they look like that.
It's a pathway. I just learned this in
So-
my anatomy class.
Gracilis and cuneatus.
Okay.
Gracilis, the leg, cuneatus, the arm.
Mm.
The fibers come there, go up. These are the proprioception fibers that tell you where your finger is. If something damaged that, you couldn't tell where your arm is. You cannot do that. You can open your eyes and do that with visual control, but you cannot do it with your eyes closed. You see that there? That alone tells us where the damage is. And if you can do it with your arm or with the hand or and so on and so forth, you know what level it is. Because these are the legs, these are the arm. It makes sense. The fibers from them come up, and the fiber from the arm, they come and join it, right? That's a marvel how this work, okay? In an ounce of neural structure, there's so much anatomy like the rest of our body. Okay, it's amazing. So,
How severe does it have to be for you to like know that there's a problem?
well, like drink two glasses of wine and try that.
Oh,
And
okay.
see.
And
It
then
becomes difficult, yeah,
okay.
already. Okay, so, and then there's another thing we can check. Give me your hand. Okay, relax. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. See, I'm not holding it here and here. I'm holding it on the side. This is up, this is down. What is this?
Up.
Here you are. That is the proprioception.
Oh.
Okay? And other things, do that. Do this. Good, pretty good. You can be a good piano player. You see?
I do play the piano.
Here you are. Here you are. See that there? I didn't even need to know that. And you're good at that. Okay. Now that's another thing for proprioception. Okay? Do this. If you tell me what this test is called, you get 5 chocolate bar. What is it called? It has a very fancy name.
I don't know then.
No?
We just learned rapid alternating movement.
Yeah, that is what it's called, but it has another. You get 1 chocolate bar.
Just one.
Just one. Okay. The official name of it, the Latin name of it, that nobody ever knows ever again, is called, if you're slow, brady, meaning for slow, if you cannot do that, diadochokinesis, or adiadochokinesis, bradydiadochokinesis. It's a combination mostly of Greek, Old Greek, brady for slow, a for none. Kinesis means movement. What is diadocho? Okay, that is, we're going to finish it with this, okay?
Okay.
After Alexander the Great died, he died so suddenly, he didn't have any successors. So he didn't assign any successors. How old was he when he died? 33. He captured the entire world. He was barely 30 something. And his generals, for 100 years, for 30 years or something like that, they really changed the whole politic in the everywhere civilized world. But every 3 months, somebody else won, and it was a rapid changing, kind of politically rapid changing. Like one general was the king, then another general was the king. Diadocho, the name of the general, they were the Diadocho, the Diadokos. Of the Greek, they were the name of the generals, Alexander's generals, or general as a whole thing. So, slow, rapid changing movement. No rapid changing movement. Bradydiadochokinesis or adiadochokinesis. I cannot even do that. Okay? Okay. The lesson in history, additional to neuro exam. Okay? Okay. Anything else? We haven't even covered 1% of the neuro, the depth. We haven't gone into the depth of it. But this is not about going to depth. It's about having a width, understanding the categories, 6 categories, being able to enough to take care of a patient. And even I, as a neurosurgeon, after high school, I went 23 years to school to be a neurosurgeon. not even I comprehend the entire neuro exam. So don't expect to understand everything. You have to just know enough to get over the day and examine the patient and be able to communicate. So when you see my neuro exam, many times this is what you see.
You're worse than me.
What does that mean?
So alert neuroangiography times 3, GCS is 14, I has lost a point, moves all extremities, and then after that, strength
Follow command,
follows command.
all 4. Idealis anterior 4 plus,
Oh, that's a 4, okay. Reflexes,
1
Intact.
plus,
okay,
coordination with the now.
okay.
That's all I need to know.
Cranial nerves? That counts for,
I would, if it's negative,
then,
Mm.
okay.
I don't put anything.
Hmm.
If it's, you may see that if I'm really not lazy, you may see that me putting cranial nerve.
Mm.
What does that mean?
Within normal,
Cranial nerve within norm.
okay.
Or I may put something like number 7 left 2 plus 3 down. Here, and the left is down.
Hmm.
We don't have time to spend on beautiful description. As a matter of fact, I think one of the travesty of every surgeon will tell you, we are drowning in irrelevancy of information.
Mm-hmm.
You get a medical record now, it's 15 page.
Mm-hmm.
It is so easy to lose the important information in 15 page, whereas we used to produce a half a paragraph of report that has everything that really matters.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't miss anything, but now, and the reason for that is, medical record that we produce now is not for doctors.
Mm-hmm.
It's for billers and coders and administrators. Has nothing to do with patient care. That, for that reason, this is what I'm expecting you to do for me. In every single of my medical record, and you will have to produce it for me as well, it will be a so-called synopsis, what it really matters for us. My synopsis starts with this. With the date, and in all your reports it has to be there. Like today is what?
Third.
Yeah, okay, so 8/3/21,
HA.
HA,
Mm-hmm.
me, Hamida Parsi,
Mm-hmm.
ISH.
Inspired Spine Health, where I did the exam.
Mm-hmm.
What else?
Imaging review and where it is.
No, CT, L spine, in CDI. Then findings. L4, 5, listhesis, and I put LIST for listhesis,
Mm-hmm.
stenosis, TA 4, PT failed, colon, L4, 5, Olaf. And every single time I see the patient, a record like that is produced. You can get the entire history of patient reading 4 synopses in under 1 minute. You have to obviously understand what the abbreviations are and what they are. But before, you have noticed, before I go see patient, I read my own notes because I don't remember anybody.
Because there's so many visits and so many people.
And
And
but I go and read my last few synopses.
Mhm.
And then I know exactly what's going on. They click. Okay, so, and you will see that a lot. And At the beginning, you can write it as elaborate as you want, but less is more in a situation like that. It just, they just,
Is TA4 your exam?
with that,
Like the strength
tibial
exam?
anterior is 4.
Okay,
And if I don't put anything, that means bilateral. Because if it's left, I put LT. If it's right, I put RT.
okay.
Okay? So, and this is the beautiful part of that is, you can give that to a neurosurgeon in Japan, he understand that, okay?
Mm-hmm.
That's not, because this is sort of general. You don't even have to speak the same language. And you will get used to it. But every single patient you will see, you will produce something like that. I show it to you in NeuroPro, not in that damn Athena, which is made for bilateral encoders. In NeuroPro, you put a section, you put that in, and before you go and see the patient, you read your last 2 synopses, then you're done. In 1 minute, you're ready to see the patient and take the best thing out of it, rather than going to dig into the Athena in that 15 page of automatic things it produces. Allergies. Really, is it important for us to, every time to document allergies, where, for anesthesiologists it may be important, who's going to put the patient to sleep, but for my clinic visit, it's really not important. By overdrawing us in information, that's actually, I think, a travesty to patient care, to overdrawing the providers information that really doesn't matter. Our brain doesn't work like that. Our brain has 3 chunks. There's good indication that our brain has capacity for 3 chunks. That is why the phone numbers come in those 3 chunks. Okay, we know all of that, and then yet they've drawn us in information, and they know it has bad impact on the patient. So, but we have to create our own kind of path around it, and NeuroPro is the path around it. Everything you need to know is there, and you'll get used to it. I show it to you how to work with that, and you will cut your workload so much by concentrating on what matters, and that's what NeuroPro is. Okay? Any question?
No.
And let's wrap it up. Okay, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Let's go and enjoy your evening. Okay.
Awesome.
I promised you 20 minutes, but I guess I got too excited. It's now 40 minutes.